Okay, so we're gonna look a little bit at aiToon. I have a brand new, super clean scene. So let's just create some assets. Maybe Taurus. And the cone. Just some shape so we can kind of see how things are behaving. Maybe a cube too. All right, so we'll have some stuff. Okay, so for aiToon, you want to use, unless you have a good reason not to, a directional light. So a directional light, just to review, is, if we're thinking about our four variables, it's infinitely far away and it's infinitely small. It makes razor sharp shadows and there's no fall off. So as the light size increases, it kind of can take away a little bit of the toon look. So let's see here. So we have our lights. Let's see what's going on. Boost this up a little. Alrighty. So the next thing we're going to do is create tab toon, aiToon. Let's assign that to everything. And it's pretty similar right off the bat to our Lambert, right? It's just like kind of a white Lambert. But what's cool about it is we have lots of control over things. So the first thing we need to do is go to our render settings and change our filter from Gaussian to contour. That will enable the toon shader to make these outlines. See how there's outlines are kind of popping out. We can, by going into our toon shader, liner, go to edge detection, and the lower this number goes, the more edges it's going to pick up. So what's going to happen is, see, it's picking up this part of the face now too, right? The lower the angle threshold, the more faces, the more lines it's going to pick up. There's also, like, you can plug masks into here to have those pick up lines. And there's a tutorial I linked to in Notion. It kind of goes a deep dive into that, but I'm not going to do that right now. All right, what I'm kind of interested in is this. So in our toon shader here, So we have our edges, how many edges pop up, our base color, and we're looking at this tone map, all right? So if we go in here, clear the selection, type in ramp, and what we're looking for is AI ramp RGB. So at the beginning, nothing changes, but what's cool about, well, there's a lot of things that are cool about the shader, but the kind of key kind of takeaway from this little tutorial is this idea. You can take the rendered values that are coming out of the shader, the rendered colors, and remap them to any color you want. So right now it's just linear. It's going from black to white, which is kind of recreating a Lambert look. But we can go to none, right? And now we have like a threshold shader, which is pretty awesome. Another thing that can be cool, right? So let's say we wanted to make this like kind of appear out of the darkness. So let's make our plane a little bigger. And let's make a ramp. Actually, let's do it this way. Go to our render settings. We're going to go to Arnold, Environment, Background. Okay, so here we can plug in what we want our background to be. If we want to have atmospheric, volumetric, atmospheric stuff, we can do that here. Don't worry about that. What I want is in the background. I'm going to click on this, and I'm going to create a ray switch node. What a ray switch node is, here for a second, is you can plug different parameters into different rays of light. So what I'm going to have here is I'm going to make the background white, but it's not going to actually affect anything else in my scene. All right. We just see it from the point of view of the camera, but it didn't bring any lighting in here. It didn't fill the shadows or anything like that. So that's what we want. And let's see here. What else can we do? We could make this a ramp. And then that way we can store this color, put it in our toon shader, right? We go to our tone map. We got black and white, and we can make our white the same color the background. Let's make the toon base white because it's getting a little muted here. I turn this to white. They should match. There we go. All right. And now that it's plugged in, I can kind of change it in one spot, and it'll change it everywhere. Alrighty, so that's pretty cool. And we can just keep running with this idea. So you can have, as many levels as you want, right? Oh, you can have part of the shader kind of blend together like a traditional kind of Lambert, and other parts be graphic, like a cell animated kind of thing. Right? That it's just the coolest thing. Right. Sides. Orange. Or yellow. Okay? I don't know. I'm saying okay too. Anyway, it's pretty amazing thing. Oh yeah, so I wanted to say like why a directional light, right? Why is that? Well, if we We don't have to use one by any means, but watch. As I go to my directional light here, and I change the radius, which is effectively, I'm turning it from just infinitely small to having some kind of width. What happens is it starts to blend together the lines of the toon shader. It starts to feather them together. And maybe that's what you want, maybe that's not what you want. But that's what it does. All right, and I kind of think like part of this aesthetic is like clean, graphic, posterized kind of look. All right,